Hello everybody and welcome back to Lost in the World. So today we're going to be going through a bunch of new content for Inazuma. We're going to break it down into multiple videos. Hit subscribe if you want to see more about Inazuma. But I'm not going to waste anyone's time. Let's get into it. We're talking about Yoimiya. I can't say her name, but anyway, she looks fantastic. We're going to break down her skills, her normal attack, her constellations, how her super works, and exactly what type of character she's going to be, which you can really get a good idea from now by looking at her skills. I can't show you a lot of this information because, as you know, mihoyo like to, punish people. So we're just going to go off what I've been told, really. Please be aware that this is subject to change. And, yeah, take it all with a big grain of salt. Ahem. All right, let's go. So her normal attack is basically a 5 consecutive shot of her bow. A very fast attack string, very similar to Fischl's. I don't know exactly if it's identical to Fischl's, but it looks very similar. I don't know about speed, if it's faster. You can't really tell at the moment from what I've seen. However, her charge attack has 2 charge levels, so she does have a similar charge attack mechanic to Ganyu. However, on charge 1, you shoot an arrow with a flame dealing pyro damage, and charge 2, you shoot 3 flame arrows will be fired depending on the charge duration. Now, these arrows actually track nearby enemies, which is really interesting, and they deal pyro damage on hit. So, really interesting, and the plunge attack actually looks really cool. She shoots down a rain of arrows from the sky and then quickly plunges to the ground. So she basically has a charge attack mechanic that has homing arrows, which is a bit different, which is nice, a little bit unique. Let's go into her E skill then. The flame blazing dance. So lights up a string of fireworks and makes the flame revolve around Yoimiya. Now think of this similar to the Hu Tao. The Hu Tao engulfing your weapon in flames, except she engulfs herself in flames and her arrows. And basically all her attacks are converted to pyro, dealing pyro damage and increasing the damage of a normal attack. Again, similar to Hu Tao's. Now, during this, however, she does lose her homing arrows on the charge attack. So that's interesting to recognize. So that's a trade-off there. You're going to trade off the bonus damage for the homing arrows. So maybe she'll play differently on mobile and PC and console. We'll have to wait and see. Now let's go into her Q, her burst, which basically she jumps into the air and fires down a volley of arrows from mid-air. Now, when these arrows hit the enemies, they deal AoE pyro damage and tag one of the enemies hit with a flare. This is an interesting part of her burst because, from what I can tell, you don't get to choose who that enemy is. It is random, so if there's more than one enemy, you may not hit the enemy you want. So this may be a slight negative of her kit. Remains to be seen when we actually see how she plays out. Now, the bonus about this flare is that when any party member, from the team, apart from Yoimiya herself, hits the enemy that has the flare on them with anything, whether it's charge attack, auto attack, burst, an explosion will occur, dealing AoE pyro damage. If an enemy under the effect of the flare is killed, the flare will be transferred onto another enemy. It's really, really interesting mechanic and will continue for the remaining duration. Now, the flare will explode every 2 seconds, which means there is internal cooldown on it. And when she is killed, or if she is killed, the effect will disappear. So that basically is her kit on the basic side of things in terms of without any ascensions, without any constellations. Let's go into her constellations. Constellation 1 increases the duration of the flare applied by the burst by 4 seconds, so taking it significantly increasing the duration, which makes her burst much, much stronger. Now, on top of that, when the enemy is defeated while the flare is on them, Yoimiya's own attack will increase by 20%, and that lasts for 20 seconds. That's a huge buff at C1, a huge buff to a burst. The only thing I've got to say about that is, from what I can tell from the description, Yoimiya doesn't trigger the flare's AoE. So if you apply the flare, you've then got about probably a couple of seconds to do your rotations and then switch in Yoimiya to take advantage of her own 20% attack damage burst. Let's go into a C2. Her C2, delivering fire with 1,000,000 lanterns. When Yoimiya's pyro damage causes a crit, she will gain an additional 25% pyro damage bonus in the next 6 seconds. Okay. She will gain this effect even if she is off field. Okay. So that means that when she's off field, if her pyro application crits, she will get 25% pyro damage bonus, which is massive. As you know, pyro damage bonus is a huge multiplier on damage. So that is, again, extremely strong. When a flare causes an explosion, so when it explodes by being triggered, the cooldown duration of flame blazing dance is decreased by 1 second. So that's her E. Okay. And then finally, you've got the C6, which of course 99% of us are never going to see. During the flame blazing dance, which is her E, when Yoimiya uses her normal attack, there's a 40% possibility that an additional flame arrow will be fired, dealing 50% of the original damage. Wow. So she just becomes an all-out beast, a C6, raining down arrows from everywhere. Well, that's Yoimiya. Now, that's basically the breakdown of everything about Yoimiya. I'll give you a really good idea of whether or not you want to save her, what type of character she is. From what I can tell, she can be played either as a straight pyro DPS or can be played as a pyro enabler to enable reactions. So she seems to be able to fill both. We don't know until we play exactly what she's best at. My guess is with her having a stat that scales off crit, she's going to be a straight up pyro damage dealer. But anyway, that's that. I'll leave it there. Take care. Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed that, hit subscribe. It helps me out a ton. We're now going to be doing videos on Ayaka, Seiyu, as well as all the new weapons coming that we've been told about in Inazuma, that I've been told about. Wink, wink. And we'll go from there. Peace. Take care. Thank you.